Hello and welcome to another video tutorial. Today we're going to take a look at how to create typography style logo with your initials in it. I actually left an example of one that I recently worked on, just showing you an example of what I want to do, and hopefully when I show you this example it will come out correctly. First we want to go ahead and open a new document, so go to File, New, and we want to have a width of maybe 1600 and height of 1200, and we'll keep the resolution at 72. Then just go ahead and click OK. I'm going to readjust this that everybody can see. And the first thing that you would want to do is create a background. And we would want to go ahead and make a gradient background. So go ahead and click on gradient. And let's see, we will keep with the linear for now. And I'm just going to go ahead and click once on this gradient, and we can just go ahead and choose it. I believe I already chose one, which I have selected here. I had the two ends black, and in the middle I had a really dark gray. So I suggest to do that, and then just go ahead and click OK. And what we want to do is just, while holding shift, just drag this line across the whole way. And then you'll see the lighter section in the middle here. And the next step you want to do is actually grab a grungy style texture to add in the background here. So what I would suggest is, this is what I would do, go to Google, and I did a search on textures grunge, and I think I wanted to stick with this particular one here. You can choose whatever you'd like, but just for this example's sake, I'm going to choose this one. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on View Original Image, and I'm actually going to go and drag this into my Photoshop. And as you see, it will open up here. And I don't want it white. I'm actually going to go ahead and invert this. All you would have to do is hit Command I. I basically want something with a dark look to it, and that'll switch it over. But go ahead and drag the Move tool, which is right here, and then click and hold, and we want to drag this into our other file here. And I'm going to have to readjust it. I hit Command T, and we can just fit this into the size of our example here, and just go ahead and click for OK or hit enter. And we want the ability to see, of course, what's behind this gradient. So I'm actually gonna, let me play with a couple opacities here. Let's try overlay, maybe soft light, maybe get back to normal, and maybe turn on the opacity a bit. Let me see. I think I'm gonna stick with soft light, and maybe turn down the opacity to 81%. Next, we want to actually create a letter. As you can see with my particular example, I used my symbol that I have with my initials combined. But I think for this example's sake, I'm just going to go ahead and, let's see, I'm going to choose a letter, a particular letter. And if you can bear with me, my font takes forever to load here. But I will say, for example's sake, we will try to find something interesting. A G sounds good. So I chose Century Gothic because it's one of my favorite fonts, and I'm going to choose regular. Of course, you can choose anything that you'd like, and I'm going to increase the size to, we're going to say 200. I'm not sure if that'll do it. And I'm going to change the color probably to a blue here. And just go ahead and click once and type the G. One problem is it's too small, so I'm actually going to increase it, but at the same time I want to make it bold. That'll be a bit better for the typography to fit the letters in. But I'm going to go ahead and increase the size. I hold down here and drag across, and this should increase the size. And I'm going to keep on going a little bit more. and I will say something around 900 probably would be good. So I'm going to go ahead and check this, grab the move tool, and move this in the center here. Next, I want to actually lower the opacity a little bit because we're going to be placing words over this. And I would actually suggest to go ahead and block this layer here because there's going to be a lot of moving going on. But next, you want to go ahead and start creating your words that you would fit in this particular letter or initials that you might use. And of course, we're going to go back to the text tool. And we're not going to use a font of 900, but I'm going to play it safe and maybe say 50 for now. And sorry about that. I wanted to add a new text, so sorry, bear with me. So I wanted to go to maybe a font about 50. Just gonna go ahead and type 50 in here. And I'm going to choose a color white. And you would start creating your own words here. What I would suggest is words that you think symbolize yourself. So for example, I'm going to just type fun, hit enter. Actually not enter, I'm sorry, backspace. Hit to check that you're done. But I want to do one thing because we're using this G letter as our letter. I actually want that to be at the bottom. So for the most part, I want you to go ahead and think of words that describe yourself. And I'll actually do one more. Energetic. Hopefully I spelled that right. But go ahead and click check. And then you have two words here. But what you want to do for the most part is grab your move tool, and each word that you choose, you want to fit into this particular G. And an easier way for you to select these words is if you hit auto select up here. Check it, and then grab your word, and you can just move it where you'd like. But for the most part, what I want you to do is put all these words in, and sometimes you have to shrink these words. So if you have the word energetic and you want it to fit in, you might want to go ahead and shrink this a little bit so another word or two can fit in. But I think you'll find it challenging to try to fit all these different words in here. And then once you do, we'll go ahead and go from there. And so I'm going to hit pause, and then we'll come back and I'll show you my finished project. Okay, for the most part I am completed here. I said for the most part, it's not perfect, but it just gives you a good idea how to put this all together. What you want to do next is actually you want to go ahead and group these together. So what I want you to do, when I say they, I meant the actual words itself. So what I want you to do is click on the top word and then go all the way down to the bottom word, and I want you to select them all. And I should say, I didn't explain, when you click on the top layer and you get on to the very bottom layer, you should be holding shift and then click at the bottom word. Once you do, you'll see this all highlighted. But once you're done with that, what you want to do is hit Control Command G, and then this will group everything, and we'll just call this words. And then what we want to do next is we actually want to right click, and we want to copy this. Let me see, I'm sorry. Take the actual group itself and drag it to a new layer here. And then when you have that new layer, I want you to right click, and then what we want to do is merge this group together. And then you'll actually have two layers. You have the original one, and then you'll have the new one here. Next, we want to go ahead and add a gradient effect to these words. So what I want you to do is double click on where it says words copy here, and your blending options of course will come up. And what we want to do is have a gradient overlay. So go ahead and check that, and then we're actually going to go ahead and choose the gradient by clicking once on it. And for the most part, just go ahead and choose two popular colors or two particular colors you like. For this example, I'll just go ahead and choose this, we'll say, and whoops, I goofed. I'll choose this, okay. And then on the other end, I'm just going to go ahead and click, we'll say the green here. Once again, it didn't work. Try the green. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and click OK again. And OK. Next, I think we're at a good point where actually I'm going to go ahead and unlock this G. And then I'm going to take the visibility away. And then you see your G here. And the next effect that we would want to go to is to add another text. And you can go ahead and put your name there. And I'm going to adjust the size again. I'm going to change that to 50. And for practical sake, we're just going to type white. And I have Century Gothic bold. We'll say bold italic would be cool. And so if I go to type, I'll just go ahead and say his name is Gary. And hit the check there. I'm actually going to transform this to make it larger. So if I hit Command T, I can make that a little bit larger. And hit the check. And then once again, what I want to do is go into the effects for this. Double click on Gary here. Go into the blending options. And if we're going to go ahead and use the same gradient overlay we chose before, that was that lime green, and then this one was the purple. And go ahead and click OK. OK again. And actually what we want to do now is go to the top layer, click, and we want to click on a new layer. And we're going to add a overlay, a cloud overlay. First, let's go ahead and choose one of these colors in our foreground color. I'm going to go ahead and choose that green again. And then we're on a new layer here, so what I want to do is go ahead and click Filter, Render Clouds, and that's going to go ahead and apply the clouds as you can see here. And we're going to do the same again. We're going to add another layer. And then we're going to choose the other color, which was this purplish color, and hit OK. And we're on a new layer, so we want to go to Filter, Render Clouds again. And of course we cannot see anything, but I'm going to go ahead and lower the opacity to some of these so we can start seeing our background. There we go, good. And what we want to do is just sort of create like a outline of this. So on layer 3, which is the green layer, go ahead and click the mask here and grab a brush, and it's white, so we would need black to take that out. I'm going to increase the size of the brush here and just go around it. And then the same thing with layer 4, the purple. Add a layer mask and sort of just go around. We're getting there. And looking at it, I probably want to go over the name itself. So I'm going to click on the layer mask right here. Make sure black is selected and go over this a little bit. And then click on the other layer mask, which is right here, and go over that. I think it looks a little bit better that way, with the name standing out. Okay. Next, I want to actually work on this a little bit more. So we are going to use the same brush, but I want to take the opacity down to maybe 24-25%. And once again, click on the layer mask right here and make sure it's selected the black, and you want to go over this a little bit. And then we're going to go to the other layer mask too. Click on the layer mask and go over it. And you're starting to see the effect here. Um, Looking at it, I actually want to go over it one more time with a smaller brush here. And we'll leave it at 25%. Click on the first mask. I just want to go on top of this right here like that, just to bring it out even more. And then do it again with the other layer. Go on top. And we're almost there. The next step we actually want to go to is go to the words copy, and we want to add a drop shadow to that. So double click on words copy and add a drop shadow. And I want to keep the distance pretty far. We'll say about 25. Let's see. We're going to say 40%. 30, 35, 34%. Something like that. And keep the size about 1 and bring the opacity up to 100%. And it's a good angle, it's at 120. So click OK. And I actually want to apply the same effects to the name Gary. And all I'm going to do is click on the drop shadow right here and hold down the Alt button and drag this into Gary. And then you'll go ahead and see the same effect there. So there you go. That's it for today. So if your name is Gary, you can feel free to borrow this and use it. But that would be it for today. Thank you again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates. Thank you.